Whenever a main memory block has to be brought into the cache, a mapping function helps determine where that main memory block will be placed in the cache. So as we have seen earlier in direct mapping, each main memory block can be placed only in a specific block of the cache. Okay. Now this causes a lot of contention. Like suppose if main memory block of 0, block 0 is mapping onto cache block 0, and if main memory block 128 is also mapping to cache block 0, then it will have to be replaced. So set associative mapping is a slightly more flexible mapping compared to the direct mapping. Here blocks of cache, they are grouped into sets. So like if there are 128 blocks in the cache, and if we say, so suppose there are 128 blocks in the cache, and if we say that each set is going to have 2 blocks, that means 2 blocks will belong to one set. So this will be set 0, then the next 2 blocks will be set 1, and so on. So if there are 128 blocks and we are having 2 blocks per set, then we will have 64 sets. Now if we are having 128 blocks and if we are having 4 blocks per set, then we will have 32 sets. Now here what will happen, that the mapping from main memory to the cache is that it can reside in any block of a specific set. So by this way we have eased out the contention problem a little by giving few more choices for the placement of that block. Now it is better compared to the associative mapping also, because in associative mapping we had to check all the tags of the cache to figure out in which cache block a particular main block was residing. So here that problem is also taken care of. Here in set associative mapping, any main memory block J will map to block J modulus number of sets in the cache. Note that in direct mapping it was number of blocks. Here it is modulus number of sets in the cache. So assuming we are having a cache with 128 blocks and there are 2 blocks per set, that means there will be 64 sets. So any main memory block we will have to do a modulus with 64. So by this mapping, memory blocks 0, 64, 128 will all map to cache set 0 because we are taking modulus 64. Now within this cache set, they can occupy any of the 2 blocks which are present within the set. So if suppose main memory block 0 has to be brought into the cache, it can come in this set, in this one block of set 0. Now if suppose main memory block 128 has to be brought into the cache, now we don't have to replace this block. It can be placed in the next available block in that particular set. So this eases out the contention problem and has more choices for placement of main memory blocks. A cache that has k blocks per set, it is referred to as k-way set associative cache. Now suppose if the number of blocks in the cache are 128 and if k is equal to 128, that means all the 128 blocks are in the cache in one set. This will obviously become a kind of a fully associative mapping where each any main memory block can be placed in any cache block. And if k is equal to 1, that means each set is having only one block, then this would be kind of equivalent to a direct mapping. So k is equal to 1 will be equivalent to direct mapping, and k is equal to n, where n is the number of blocks in the cache. This would be equivalent to the fully associative mapping. How does a main memory address is interpreted in the set associative mapping? So suppose if we are having a 16-bit address, there are 128 cache blocks, and each cache block is having 16 words, and each block set is having 2 blocks. That means this is two-way set associative. If there were 4 blocks per set, we will say it is 4-way set associative. So since there are 2 blocks per set, we will be having 64 sets. Since there is a 16-bit address, there are 2 to the power of 16 memory locations in the main memory, divided by the number of words in each block. So we are having 2 to the power of 12 blocks in the main memory, starting from block 0 to block 4095. So the 16-bit address can be interpreted like this. Within every block, there are 16 words. So 4 bits are needed, the 4 low order bits are needed to specify the word within a block. There are 64 sets in the cache, so 6 bits will be required to specify which set this memory address would be available in. The remaining 6 bits are stored as the tag bits. So once a main memory address is sent out by the processor, the bits, 6 bits over here, will help determine which set of the cache the memory address can be found. So suppose it refers to set 1. Now within this set, the tag bits of both the blocks will be checked and matched with the tag bits of the main memory address. Depending upon which tag bits it is matching to, that particular block will be accessed. So suppose if the tag bits of block 2 are matching with the tag bits of the main memory address, then block 2 will be accessed, and within this block, this is the word, these 4 bits will specify the word within that block. Suppose if none of the tag bits are mapping, then it is a cache miss, and then the main memory will be accessed and that particular block will be brought into set 1. Let us take an example of address 26, main memory address 26. Since each block is consisting of 16 words, so these are the addresses that would be available in the main memory, and as you can see, main memory address 26 will be found in block 1 of the cache. Otherwise also, if you divide this by 16, this is 1, which refers to main memory block 1. Which cache block will this map to? 1 modulus number of sets in the cache, which is 64. So this block will map to set 1. Within this set 1, it can be placed in any of the blocks, either block 2 or it can be placed in block 3. What is the binary address of 26? What will be the address that will be given out by the main memory? It is 00000000 and 0001110. The low order 4 bits will specify the word. The 6 bits over here will specify the set, and as you can see over here, this is specifying set 1, and we had determined this from here also. This is set 1, and within that set it is word number 10. So this is how the main memory address will be interpreted, and these tag bits will be stored over here. Consider another address 2070. This is our memory address 2070. Which main memory block will it map to? So if I divide this by 16, this is mapping to block number 129 of the main memory. 129 modulus 64, again it refers to set 1 of the cache. What will be the binary of 2070? So what will be the 16-bit address that is being sent out by the processor? It is 00001000, then 00010110. This is binary of 2070. Lower 4 bits will decide the placement of the word within that block. The next 6 bits will decide the set, and as you can see again, this is referring to set 1. The high order bits will be stored as tag. So this will be 000010. Just by differentiating between the tags, so as you can see, main memory block 1, when it was brought to the cache, it had tag bits 000000. Main memory block 129, when it has been brought into the cache, the tag bits are this 000010. And now the 129 main memory block did not replace block 1, as is the case in direct mapping. So since there were 2 blocks available within that set, so it could be accommodated in the set, and there was no replacement of the earlier block required. So this way, using set associative mapping, we can accommodate more blocks which are mapping to the same block of the cache, as is the case in direct mapping. Now when the processor sends out a new address, just by checking the set, so first it will check the set to which that main memory address belongs. Then within the set, it will check the tag bits of all the blocks and see whether it is a hit or a miss. So this is how set associative mapping works.